OneShot Aftermath, or as it was later called, OneShot Oxalis, was a sequel mod for, well, OneShot. It was in development stasis for many years with long gaps of silence from the developers on what the game was shaping up to be. As of last month, one of the devs, Maeve, apologies if I mispronounced that, has announced the project's indefinite hiatus or cancellation, quote, "With the past 7-ish years of development of Project Oxalis, we have to unfortunately announce the game's development has been put on an indefinite hiatus. We've put this game off time and time again for a multitude of reasons that were never disclosed transparently before, and in this document, I plan to let everyone know how things have been going, with the change of direction from Vixia to Maeve, all the way to why we are deciding to stop development of the game indefinitely," end quote. I've put a link to that statement in the description for those curious, but one of the main reasons this mod never got off the ground, according to the doc, was the original lead dev leaving for personal reasons around the 4th year of development. This left the remaining team with fragments of what the project would have been, and with no one person committing to a real vision, work on the project began to dwindle. To quote an older blog post from the devs, "As we have stated in the past, one thing that was holding back progress for the game the longest time was the state it was in from a programming perspective. Due to us having to program a new and custom engine for both game and text, it meant that anything relating to the gameplay, such as maps and puzzles, were incapable of being developed. This, while worth it for a long list of reasons, has caused plenty of months of headache to go by, where the only progress on the game being done was making sure the settings menu didn't crash the entire game and our computers for some reason," end quote. The document posted more recently is vague about some details, which I respect, as a lot of the stuff going on behind the scenes isn't any of our business. Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and if this team feels the stress of completing the game isn't worth the eventual release, it's a good decision to axe the project. If you're wondering whether or not you can play an unfinished version of the game in light of this news, the answer is yes. I reached out to the ex-lead dev and she explained that it would be released sooner rather than later. The team, known as Eternabyte, does have other stuff in the works, including a deck builder roguelite. I'll link to their website in the description. Fortunately, there are a handful of one-shot mods released and in progress that satisfy the want to return to this world and its characters. Even the holiday-themed mod Frostide was so ambitious it felt like a sequel story. Also, according to Oxalis' Games Like This section on their Steam page, Dave the Diver and Dredge are basically the same thing as what Oxalis would have been, so if you're fiendishly upset about the cancellation, give those a try. If you're watching this and we're looking forward to Oxalis, share your thoughts in the comments. Lots of times the developers from these cancelled projects will watch these videos and take some sort of piece from what people say. Subscribe for more RPG Maker adjacent content and feel free to watch my video. I'm OneShot Frostide.